Alright, so my dream last night. So, my current predicament, this is just an older house, and it was not very well taken care of before. And of course, I'm going to have a backstory to my story. Um, and then, of course, when Dave and I were here, it was not very well taken care of. And so now it's like trying to do some things. Um, and I'll probably, so the spigot out front, the water spigot, um, definitely has some calcification on it. So I'm guessing I could do like the paste, the white vinegar, and is it baking soda? Um, you know, put it on there, wrap it up, let it sit. Um, it doesn't seem to turn off all the way, but it's weird because when you turn it on, it goes on through the hose, but when you turn it off, it almost seems like it's still running, but it's weird because it almost seems like it's running into the ground. I don't know how else to explain it. So I don't know if there's like another shut-off valve that I could turn it all the way off, but it definitely still sounds like it's running right now. And I noticed this the other day after the kiddos were out front playing with the hose. And my postpartum doula noticed it Thursday when she was here. She texted me to tell me that it sounded like the water was still on. So she said she turned it on and back off, and she said it still sounds like it's running. So last night, apparently this was in my head. That's at least what I think. So I wake up around 2 from this dream. I did not write it down. I was too tired to wake up and write it down. But it kind of reminds me of how vivid my dream was when I was in Zion. When I did the Angel's Landing hike in Zion. When I was in Vegas. And we know how that one turned out. So this one, it had Dave in it. We were in the garage. And it was a different garage than this current garage, but it was supposed to be this current garage, but like the setup of it was different. And I told him that he needed to come here because it sounded like there was water running underneath of the garage. And so he comes out, and the hot water heater is kind of positioned like towards the house, but in the middle of the garage, versus like in this actual garage, it's like positioned in the corner. So he comes out, and I'm like, it sounds like there's water running underneath of the garage, and it sounds like it's, and I was like, at the same time, we're looking at the hot water heater. I was like, it sounds like it's gonna blow. And we're looking at the hot water heater, and you can see like the nuts and bolts, I guess, on this thing, like shaking, getting ready to literally like explode. And so I run around this, looks like a white, I don't know how to describe it, like one of those cars that are on trains that they use to like store stuff in, like a train car kind of a thing. And I run behind it to take cover because this hot water heater, like the pressure from below the ground coming up, this hot water heater is going to freaking explode. Why I think that's going to provide me cover, I don't know, because if it's going to explode, isn't the water going to come up and just go right over the thing that I just took cover behind? But, it all made sense in the dream. So, fascinating that it basically has to do with something rumbling from below the ground and exploding, right? So I go to look up something earlier. I think it was actually when I went to look up the hidden twin syndrome to see if that was a real thing. And lo and behold, it is. And you know how it lists like different stories. Well, this is one of the stories that showed up. All right, Hawaii. I have been seeing the 808 signs again, right? But I just figured it's because Mom Kauai is calling me back. Hawaii's Big Island gets warning as huge volcano rumbles. So what are the odds that my dream was actually a metaphor for a volcano erupting? Just like with my other dream after Zion, with the mice falling, the rats mice falling into the black hole. And then, what was it, a week later? I don't know, whatever. The Miami condo collapse. Right? Yeah, it was like a week later, right? So then, I'm like, yeah, what are the odds? Well, then I'm trying to open it to the page. I am currently starting to read Mists of Babylon. Book 1, Mistress of Magic. And let's read what this says. Hang on, I gotta find it. Okay. But to Igraine, they looked like towers of rock, ancient mountains and hills drowned by the ever-encroaching sea that nibbled away, even now, at the very crags below the castle. Here, at the end of the world, where the sea ate endlessly at the land, it was easy to believe in drowned lands to the west. There were tales of a great fire mountain which had exploded far to the south and engulfed a great land there. Igraine never knew whether she believed those tales or not. A great fire mountain which had exploded. Yeah, pretty sure that is a volcano.